Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be going over the 12-link core that I made for Frostblade's Trickster. We're going to be going over what it does for the build DPS wise, and we're also going to be going over the craft of the core and how I decided to make it. So first what we're going to do is we're going to show how much better it is than probably the best Fizz cold core you can get. So this is a simulation of my character before I upgraded to the 12-link core. The reason I say simulation is I've done a couple of upgrades since getting the 12-link core, which will be shown in like my current PoB. So I simulated those upgrades in this PoB, which is why you'll see, you know, the res is a bit scuffed, and I've got like 1000 accuracy in the config. The only reason for that is I put over some of the upgrades on my current build into my old build, so that's why things might look a little scuffed, but essentially this is how my build would be if I didn't have the 12-link core. So pretty much the only thing that really changes on the tree is you can see we have this point up here. That was the last point I had. This goes to here instead because we need this 3% suppress with the new 12-link core. So that's all that changes on the tree. On the skills, obviously we had this in the chest before. All these skill gems change and go in the core and the shield. So we do Frostblade, Hypothermia, Inspiration. Inspiration's very important to keep the mana cost down. And we do Awaken added cold damage with Ice Bite and Nightblade. And then we go to the items, and this is where a lot changes. So we change from this to this. You can see we now have 425 million damage. So we went from 290 to 425 million, so that's about 135 million damage, which is just under a 50% damage upgrade, or 50% more damage basically. So yeah, it's obviously very, very strong. We did have to change a few things to get it to work, which means we did lose damage in other places. So just the core alone, if you could just swap without doing anything else, it would probably actually be even more than that. But we did have to like lose some damage on how that which was taken and stuff, which I'll quickly go over now. So basically, you have 19 suppress on the shield usually. We lose that when we go the Squire, so that means that we had to get 19 suppress elsewhere. So I made a new chest with 22 suppress instead of 19, so that gave us 3%. We got 3% on the tree, which meant we needed 13% elsewhere. Decided to get it on the boots, which means we lost an alley res roll here. So I needed to get alley res on the gloves, so I got temple mod gloves. But this meant I didn't want to lose the attack speed, because I'd have to lose either the attack speed or the accuracy. So I figured out a way to get my accuracy capped without having accuracy on gloves, which I did by putting the auras in the chest and getting putting an Enlighten 4 on the auras. And we change out that which was taken to have 12% increased mana reservation efficiency, and this lets us hit level 16 precision without having accuracy on gloves. Means that we're hit capped. I'll take the accuracy off so you can see still hit capped. Yeah, so we lost a little bit of damage on that which was taken, but it's still a pretty good one, so pretty happy with that. And the only other thing that really changed is because we don't have auras in the helmet anymore, we changed to a +1 maximum power charge heat shiver instead of +2 AoE and 90% reservation, which is what I had before. And this +1 power charge actually let me drop the diamond flask in favour of a silver flask, so I could drop the Sleepless Sentry stuff that I was using. And I was 99.27% crit with the power charge here. So I needed to find, you know, a tiny bit of crit somewhere, so I made a new medium cluster, and this one has 10% global crit chance corrupted implicit on it. So I decided to use this to cap my crit. I think it's pretty funny that a corrupted implicit on a medium cluster is capping my crit, but hey, it works, so I'm not going to complain. So that's everything I did to make the core fit. So this is the core here. It's 20 Ruthless, 20 Multistrike, 20 alley damage with attacks. Socketed skills do 40% more attack damage and level 18 increased crit damage. Obviously I would like that to be 20, but it's less than 1% DPS difference and it would cost multiple mirrors to try for 20, so I decided to settle on this. And crafted 15% DD while focused. The only thing better than this would be veiled 20% DD while focused. So I'll talk more about this later in the video, but that is something that we might try to do later in the league, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, what I want to also go over, now that I've shown you how much damage it gives, I want to go over why it's better than actually fully finished cores, because there's currently 2 on the market, which are Janebu's one here. So you can see his has faster attacks. Multistrike is much better. I've PoB'd this a few times just to make sure. Multistrike and not having Awakened Multistrike on your gems is a lot more damage than faster attacks. And he has increased crit strikes here. Now the thing with Frostblades is, at least this league, you don't really need crit on your claw to crit cap, which is crazy to say, but it works out to be the best damage to not have crit on your claw, so you get another damage suffix. And it's the same with this one here. So this one is almost perfect. If this 20 crit strikes was... This is mine, basically, but it has 20 crit damage, and it has 20 crit strikes instead of DDOL focused. But for our build, DDOL focus is much better than crit strikes. So that's why this core here is better than these 2 for Frostblade specifically. Obviously other builds would probably prefer crit on their core, so obviously they would mirror these 2. But yeah, if I do end up actually like fully finishing the core, like it's already extremely good. You would only get an extra probably 2-3% DPS out of it by spending multiple more mirrors on it. But I guess that's the point of a mirror craft, right? The only things I would change is 18 to 20 crit damage and veiled 20% DDOL focused. It already has the best mods on it, it's just 2 of them aren't the highest tier possible. But again, that would require lots and lots and lots of currency. So if I get lots of currency, I will do it later on in the league, but as of right now I don't have that currency, so I can't do it, and I'm more than happy using it how it is right now. It's extremely good. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly go over why I think this is better for Frostblades than the other 2 Mirror Claws on the market at the moment. What we're going to go into now, just before we get into the craft, is I wanted to give a big thank you to Unknown. He has basically solo funded the craft. He put in like 85 to 90% of the currency that went into the craft. I also wanted to thank Casual and hheef. Both of them also put in some money. Casual also put in quite a lot of money, and I put in some money too, obviously. But yeah, big thanks to Unknown, and thank you to Casual and hheef for their investment into the project. It wouldn't have happened without you guys, so thanks again. What we're going to go into now is the craft of the core. Now, I can't really show you guys the how I got the core to this point in Craft of Exile, because it doesn't let you do it in Craft of Exile, so I'm just going to explain the best I can what I did, and then we'll craft it from this point, okay? So you're just going to get a bit of a monologue on how I got to this point. So basically what I did was I bought an item level 75 Imperial Core with no influence whatsoever. I used a gilded fossil on it to give it the, you can't see it here, but it has the item cells with mortar vendors on it, because why not? And I used perfect fossils until I got it to 30% quality. I then used a Redeemer Exalt on it to give it some influence, and I went to the Harvest Bench and changed the influence on it until it hit Shaper influence. So at this point all I have is a Shaper influenced I-75 Imperial Core. The reason I say I-75 is because if you go I-75, look how many mods it blocks, right? So each of these ones in grey brackets you see here, it's blocking one of these mods. So it's blocking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 mods, right? It's blocking 17 mods from rolling on the suffixes. You could do this with an I-83 core, and it would make the first part a lot more simple, but later on when it gets very expensive using locks, it means you have less chance to hit the mods you want. So I decided to go with the very tedious way of doing the first part instead of the easy way, so that it would cost less later. And I think in the end this worked out well, even though I got extremely unlucky on this step that I'm about to tell you about. So the first thing we had to do is there's 2 mods that are above item level 75 that we need on this core. One of them is level 20 Ruthless, which is a item level 80 mod. We're going to get that on the core by Awaken or Orbing it onto the Imperial Core, because that ignores item level, so that's fine, we can get this later. The other one we need though is the Socketed Gems, or Socketed Skills, deal 40% more attack damage. This is an 83 mod. what I figured out is that you can actually get this on an I-75 base if you use an item level 83 beast to transfer it on. So for example, I used item level 83 Ferric Wolf Alphas, and what that does is it changes a suffix into a prefix. But as long as those beasts are item 83 or above, it can put 83 mods on a 75 base. So this is where it got very tedious. So what I did was I grabbed a bunch of transmutes, augs, alterations, and regal orbs and scours. And what I did was I transmuted, I alterationed until I hit just a suffix. I regaled, so it had either a prefix and a suffix or two suffixes. And then I Ferric Wolf Alpha'd and hoped that it hit socketed skills deal 40% more attack damage. This is the only mod we were looking for. We didn't care about anything else. So on average, this was supposed to be a 1 in 150. It took us 361 wolves, and as you know, beast crafting isn't very fun. So this took over 8 hours purely just on getting this mod here. Now, it wasn't super expensive. It only cost like, I think 60 divine or something. Or no, actually it was a bit more than that. It was like 90 divine to get this mod. So not super expensive, but time-wise, this was 80% of the craft, was just getting this mod. In hindsight, I don't regret it, because yes, we got extremely unlucky, and it made getting the late expensive mods a bit easier, because, you know, all of these mods are blocked with the grey brackets, so it is helpful to do this. But yeah, it was very painful at the time, and it was very, very sad. But yeah, we finally got this, so then what you do is you if you got it with another prefix, you would have to get rid of the other prefix. So whether you did cannot roll attack mods to get it off, or you might even have to lock a null if it was an attack mod, because you don't want to go through that again, because fuck that. Yeah, you just have to have this as the only prefix, and then you just have to do suffixes can't be changed scour, and that would turn the item blue, and then you imprint it. We used about, I think about 70 imprints, so that's quite a lot of money. Obviously imprints are like 3 to 4 divine each, so that's 210 to 280 divine in imprints, but it's worth it because you don't want to roll for this again. This is not very fun. So now you've got this forever, you never have to worry about losing it, so that's good. And then to get the Ruthless, what we had to do was we got Elder Claws. Doesn't matter what item level, what base or anything, they just had to have Elder Influence as their only influence, and they had to have yeah, they had to be a core, obviously. And then we started off with Jagged Fossils, but it was too much stuffing around and it just wasn't feeling very good, so we just started chaos spamming. And then I realized how many of these we were going to need, because for the next step, which I'll go over in a second, if it bricks, you have to then use an imprint. Whoops. You have to then use an imprint and then awaken an orb, another Ruthless onto the imprint again to give it Ruthless and more attack damage, right? So I realized we're going to need a lot of Ruthless Claws, level 20 Ruthless Claws with no other Elder mod on them, so that we can awaken or orb them onto this Imperial Claw. So a bunch of people in chat helped out. I want to thank Unknown again, Casual again, Zerksees, Blacksnow, and kappaq. All of these guys were helping with rolling claws. They were just chaos spamming or alt spamming until they hit level 20 Ruthless and then handing them to me. Thanks to them, this step only took about probably 2 hours instead of like, it would have taken me probably over 6 hours to roll the claws myself. So thanks very much for that, guys. That was a big help. And then the reason we had to do all those claws, I'll go over in this next step, which I can actually show you finally, is for step 3, we needed to get 20 LE damage with attacks as a prefix. So the only way to kind of target this mod is to reforge Influence. It's a 1 in 52 to hit level 20 LE damage with attacks. So all you would do is you would do prefixes can't be changed, and you would reforge Influence. Bang. If it hits 3 suffixes like this, you just YOLO a null. Okay? If it gets rid of a suffix, you're good. You do prefixes can't be changed, reforge Influence again. If it doesn't, and it gets rid of a prefix like that, you then have to imprint the core again, and then Ruthless another mod onto the the Imperial Claw. So that's why you needed so many imprints and so many level 20 Ruthless Elder Claws, because this step here, getting the AoE damage with attacks, you have quite a good chance of bricking it, and we bricked it about 70 times, so you will need imprints and Ruthless Claws. So anyway, you do this until you hit level 20 elemental damage with attacks. I'm not going to sit here and do it forever, but you can see, like, if you get another prefix but it doesn't have an attack mod, you can do cannot roll attack mods a null, and then you can safely get rid of that third prefix and go again. But yeah, if the suffixes fill, you kind of just have to YOLO a null. There's not much you can do about it. And if it's a prefix with an attack mod on it, like let's try and get a prefix with an attack mod, like this one, like normal wed, this you would just have to do. You just have to YOLO a null and hope for the best. So bang, I got rid of the Ruthless, so you would have to imprint this and awaken orb another Ruthless Claw onto it to get those two mods back together. But yeah, so you did this until you got elemental damage with attacks, level 20, which is a 1 in 52. It took us 92 reforges, so we got unlucky on this step too. Level 20, there we go. So this is what the claw looks like now. Prefixes are done. The fourth step here is very, very easy. All it is prefixes can't be changed. Reforge speed, which will go harvest, reforge speed, until you hit level 20 Multistrike. There's 20 faster attacks. This is a 1 in 12, so this is actually quite likely. It is the same likelihood to hit 20 Multistrike as it is to fill the suffixes. They're both 1 in 12, so we filled the suffixes here. Here you would probably lock a null. I wouldn't risk it. It's a 2 in 5 a null, so if you risk it, if you YOLO it, you could fuck the item. So we got lucky there, but like, okay, come on. If that happens, you have to imprint again, and then you have to get the wet again. So there's no way you risk this elemental damage with attack skills here. So you would lock a null until you annulled the attack speed or the life, and then you would do prefixes can't be changed again. And you would go back to reforging speed until you hit 20 Multistrike, just like that. So now that is the 3 prefixes done, and the 20 Multistrike done. The 5th and final step is it's sad, and it's going to take you a lot of currency. Luckily, this is the part we got lucky on, so I'm very glad we got lucky on this part. But you have to craft critical strike chance, crafted crit chance here, and it's literally just exalt and pray for 20 critical damage. It is a 1 in 96 to hit critical damage, to hit level 20 critical damage this way. It's a 1 in 48 to hit 18 or 20 critical damage. So yeah, you would have to, and this obviously requires you to lock a null. You do prefix, so when it fills up with something you don't want, you do prefixes can't be changed, and then you can lock a null, and it can only hit Multistrike, this shit mod, or the prefixes can't be changed. The alternative is to lock Exalt. I honestly don't know which one is better, but because lock Exalt guarantees you spend 25 divines every go, but yeah, I guess it's probably not much different to do lock and null, because lock and null is it's only 1 in 3 to annul the mod that you want. So yeah, maybe it would have been better to lock Exalt here. It probably is, honestly, now that I think about it. But yeah, so you can just lock Exalt until you hit T2 or Tier 1 increased critical damage, which I won't sit here and spam for too much longer, but we'll see if we can hit it. No, 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 whoops, no, 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 no. Crit multi, no goods. Normal multi, blind, poison, mana, stun duration, yeah, well, almost. So anyway, you do that until you hit the critical damage, which we hit tier 2, and we didn't want to reroll to try and get tier 1 because it would have been way too much currency. Where is it? Am I blind? It's there. Critical damage. And then we just crafted on double damage or focused. Like that. It's the craft. Whoops. This one. Like that. And then we just did some tailoring orbs on the core. I don't know what the rate is to hit 6% fizz and 6% speed, but this took us 500 tailoring orbs. That was 500 divines down the drain. But we finally managed to hit it. We almost gave up on it, but we stuck with it and we finally got it. And yeah, that's how the core was finished. So that's the crafting for the core. That's how we did it. But yeah, as I was saying before, we might actually... I was thinking about doing this before, but then I realised how much currency it cost to fix. But if we did... I realised that the Multistrike is actually really easy to hit. It's only a 1 in 12. So I don't really care if we lose that. And if I wanted to upgrade this to 20, I'd have to lose that anyway. So I thought, if we did a prefixes can't be changed on this, and ashlinged, and it hit the prefix can't be changed, and it hit DD while focused, this would be perfect other than the 18 crit damage not being 20, right? So it would be better than it currently is. So I think I'll try, when I decide to maybe go for 20 crit damage, I'll try that first, and if it hits the DD focus on the crafted mod, I think I'll just leave it there and leave it forever. But if it does brick, like it gets rid of the Multistrike or it gets rid of the increased crit damage, then we can just do reforge speed for the Multistrike again. Then we can do multi-mod prefixes can't be changed ashling, which gives us a 2 in 3 chance of hitting a good mod on the ashling. And then we just try to unveil DD while focus, and then we just lock Exalt for the crit damage again. So that's something we might do in the future. We'll see how we go with that, but that will require a shit ton of currency, so I'll have to get some saved up, and who knows, maybe Unknown can help out again. But yeah, that's an upgrade we can do in the future to the core, but it'll be like 2, maybe 3% more damage at the most. It's really, really minor. As it is right now, it's already extremely good. You saw in my PoB before, it gives a lot of damage, so yeah, it's a very, very nice setup. If you can figure out the suppression on your build with not having it on your shield, and you have a mirror, it's a very, very nice core to use. But yeah, that's about it for the plans for upgrading. If anyone wants to mirror service this core, as it's shown, I'll show it in here because this is the actual core. If anyone wants to mirror service this core, just message spraz_FB on in the game in Path of Exile, or you can message me on Discord, wherever. It really doesn't matter, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. It is a free mirror fee for anyone who was in the Frostblades Discord before the call was made, and it's a 20 divine fee for anyone else, so really small fee just to try and get some money back to Unknown. I won't be taking any of the money back from the mirror fee. All of it will go to Unknown because he put in by far the majority of the money, so I want to give him some money back if I can. But yeah, other than that, really small mirror fee. If anyone wants it, come grab it. I don't know what the other two are charging for their mirror fees, but I almost guarantee that it's more. So if you're playing Frostblade, you want a mirror core, this is definitely the one to get. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope this gave some good insight onto how I crafted the core and how it came into being made. And again, thanks very much to all the people that put in the currency and all the people that helped rolling the Ruthless cores, because that saved me a lot of time, and all the people that actually helped me buy item level 83 Farrick Wolf Alphas. That was a huge pain in the ass, so thanks to all the people that helped with that as well. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Come to twitch.tv/spraz. I don't think I'll be streaming tomorrow, but I'll be streaming 4 or 5 days in a row very shortly, so come check it out. We'll be doing some juiced abyss maps, I'm imagining, with this new core, and hopefully getting some currency up to maybe try and make it perfect. But yeah, thanks very much for watching.